Hi y'all. A little story about me. I'm kind of reaching out for help here. November 2009, on the 12th, I was laying in bed that night, and my muscles in my back and in my legs, as I laid in bed, were, I believe, contracting. I call them tremors. And I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop from contracting these muscles in my body. So I was kind of frantic because my body's doing crazy things and I couldn't stop it, couldn't help it, didn't know what was causing it. At this time, I was on the medication Lexapro for around 3 months. So I was on this medication for 3 months, and I thought that maybe the medication was causing it, as the doctors did also. So continuing on from that night, I called around to my doctor at the time, to the hospitals, trying to figure out what I should do, what I can do, how to stop it, and nobody had answers for me. So I went into the ER, and that Thursday they looked at me. They took blood. No, they didn't even take blood that day. They didn't do anything that day. So that night, it was actually 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, great time. So yeah, I went there. They looked at me. They did the average, kind of testing out my muscles a little bit. And they said, well, I don't know what's causing them. Here's some Valium. You can go home. So I was kind of like, okay, whatever. I'm just overreacting. And so as I slept, they went away, and I just kind of was. In that morning, I was still kind of thinking, like, well, that was strange. What caused it? So on and so forth. And they seemed to kind of go away in the morning, and I was fine. That night, they started again. So this is the 13th. And I did the same thing. Called around to my doctor at the time, called the hospital, and they're like, you should go back to the ER. I was like, okay. So I'm back to the ER, and the previous day when it first started, when I got to the ER, they pretty much stopped. I was having like the contractions a little bit more, but other than that, it was pretty. On the 12th, the previous day, they didn't really get to see what was happening. So the next day, when I went to the ER, they were continuously happening. They happened all throughout the night until I fell asleep. When I sleep, they go away. And so on this Friday, they looked at me. They took more time to kind of figure me out, took blood, and they're like, well, since we don't know what's causing them, how about we admit you? And they did. So I stayed in the hospital from the 13th to the 15th, was the Sunday night.